Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Jane. Did America just screw Europe over? I think so. Somebody just blew up our pipeline because even if we wanted to renegotiate with Russia about reopening the Nord Stream 1 and the Nord Stream 2, it's impossible now. Our energy lifeline is dead and there's no going back. This can't be fixed according to experts because once the gas finish leaving, escaping the pipeline, seawater is going to go inside and it's going to rust it and it's going to render it completely unusable. So, who destroyed the pipeline and who has what to gain from the destruction of this pipeline? In my opinion, I think America did it. All signs are pointing to America. If you're following the news, Biden threatened to get rid of the pipeline. As immediately when Russia went into Ukraine, he jumped on a Nord Stream 2 and basically forced Germany, aka Europe, to shut down the Nord Stream 2. All we had left was the Nord Stream 1, which we barely get an energy through it because Russia tightened the pipeline. Now we have nothing. We are basically being thrown back into Middle Ages. We have no energy and nobody is going to supply it. I think the thinking behind this sabotage was America is going to supply energy to Europe, but it's never going to be enough. It's never going to get here in enough time for us to use. We need a pipeline where energy is constantly flowing. We cannot be waiting on ships to cross the ocean. But the bad thing is about this, that Europe is so dependent on America for their military powers, for their defense, that they will never admit that, hey, you as our ally, why did you do this to us? They will never admit it. So rest assured, as much as you see now on the news and even on the mainstream media, that they are not directly and immediately saying, hey, Russia, you did it. They're busy throwing some doubt in the mix and actually saying that it's a possibility that America did this. Can you believe it? The mainstream media is saying this. So you know that it's them that did it. As much as they are throwing some doubt in who did this, nobody is coming out plainly and saying Russia did this. But because Europe can never turn its back on America and its defense, eventually they will fall in line behind America when they start to point the fingers at Russia. But they messed up. They really messed up, America, this time, because all the evidence is there that they did it. They were in the area with their warships and their attack helicopters. They were doing a lot of covert operations in that area around the time that the explosion happened. They are the bosses in those waters. And there is a consensus with experts that only a government could have carried out this extreme sabotage. So they messed up. And you know what the worst part is? That the people that discovered the leak, Denmark and Finland and the countries along that coast, they freaking well know who did it. They know who are in their waters because they are also in their own waters. They know that the Americans are based in those waters. They see and follow everything that they do every day. So they know who did it. But for some reason, and this has been years upon years, for some reason, all countries are afraid to point their fingers at America. But I think and I hope that somebody will have the courage to stand up and say, hey, You guys did it. We know you did it. And we want to know why you did it. But yeah, we can only hope. It's not like we don't know people that follow the geopolitics of the world. It's not like we don't know the damage and the destruction NATO and the US has inflicted around the world for their benefit. We know it. We don't like to talk about it, especially if we have an American passport or if we're part of the NATO. It's difficult to talk about it. Like, it's like if you think about it with normal people, if you had somebody that you called your best friend and they're constantly screwing you over, for a long time it'll be difficult for you to believe it until they really mess up. And then you step to them and say, hey, I cannot be friends with you anymore. You're a liability to me. So, will that happen? I don't know. Very interesting times we're living in. And will somebody this time stand up and say, yes, you guys did it, and you basically screwed us over? We no longer have an energy line. We cannot depend on you for energy. Saudi Arabia isn't planning on giving us extra energy. Where are we going to get the energy from? You basically screwed us over. So, what I think, and something that I've been discussing with my daughter, what I think is going on is America, they feel the world is changing. They can feel it. And when you feel pushed up against the wall, you feel your position is in danger. We talk about the African leaders do this all the time. It must be some kind of phenomena, but people hate to let go of power. And I think that's what's going on now. They understand and they feel that the world is changing, so they're throwing everything in the mix. And sometimes you throw things so wildly that something goes wrong. They throwing billions of dollars into Ukraine to stop Russia from winning this war, because if Russia wins this war, their power is diminished as well. They're running around like chickens without a head, doing this and doing that. But I think this time they did a little too much and didn't think it through. We'll see how it ends. But in the end, I think what will happen is they will set the narrative. They won't be able to get out of the fact that there's evidence that they were in the area and they probably did this. So they're gonna, let's see if my prediction comes through. They're gonna say, yes, they did it, but it was an accident. It was unintentional. And that's the narrative they're gonna go with, because they cannot afford to break bonds with the EU. We'll see what happens. But in the meantime, Europe, the European Union, and all the countries that depend on energy from Russia, we're screwed. There is no fixing this. This will take years and years to get us out of this energy crisis, with all the consequences that follows. Like I said in other vlogs, no natural gas, no gas becomes a cascade to many things in your economy. Yeah, we're screwed. And I think our best friend screwed us over. So guys, leave some comments below. Let me know what you think, and I'll be happy to engage with you about this. And I'll see you again in my next vlog. Cheers.